What's up, you guys? It's 2Bricks, and today I have a special kind of new addition to my Harry Potter lineup. This is obviously a creature edition. This is the Mountain Troll from the Philosopher's Stone, and I was really hoping to do, a whole lineup of different creatures and things, and this is part 2 of that effort to kind of go along with the things that that we don't necessarily have easy to get representations of in our kind of new wave of Harry Potter stuff. So in the past there was a big fig of the Mountain Troll from that scene, and it was a pretty cool looking thing, but that thing came out something like 15 years ago or longer, and it's really difficult to get a hold of one. So like with the Basilisk, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and make a brick-built one. So I really like what they're doing with their brick-built creatures in the new stuff. We got a brick-built Aragog and also Grop the Giant. So there's a lot of cool ways now that we can use new Lego parts to create things. So that's what I've done here to recreate this creature. So today I'm going to show you guys the little kind of features that it has and the articulation that it can do. And down below in the description, if you check out the link, there is the free instructions to build this and get the parts list for yourself. These little small creature builds and things like that, little add-ons, I want to be able to give those to you guys for free. So if you guys are interested in helping out the channel anyway, please do check out my Rebrickable and see what other models there are on there. Some of them are for sale, some of them are for free. You can go ahead and like the video, subscribe, all those things help. But if you're setting up a little diorama of that scene and you are looking for a Mountain Troll design, hopefully this satisfies your needs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the troll and what it can do. Alright, to start with, I'll give you a quick scale comparison. So here is the brick-built Grop that we got, and here is my brick-built custom Basilisk. So I think scale-wise, it feels pretty appropriate, especially if you compare it to the height of the kids from that scene in their first-year configuration with the short legs. I think it scales really well. It feels like kind of a similar bulk, I think, to what we had with the Big Fig version. So I actually don't have one of those. I used to way back in the day, but yeah, I don't have one to compare, but it feels about right. So that's kind of an important thing. And again, if you're setting up a diorama and you have these characters in there, you want them to feel appropriate. So I think that works out pretty well. So let's take a look at the articulation and features and other things that this guy can do. Okay, so obviously if you're setting up this scene, the way that you're probably going to want to have it is where Harry has lunged onto the back of the troll, and he's doing his best to attack the troll. And at least that's an option you probably want to have. And since my version doesn't have any nostrils, but he does have ear holes, I've just went ahead and substituted the one going up the nose for the one going through his ears. And you can see it actually comes out the other side there, which is actually kind of appropriate because trolls are very stupid, so it makes sense that he wouldn't have anything between his ears. And so yeah, that's one easy way to do it. And the troll does have a posable head, so you can kind of get the angle just where you like it, and he can even swivel his head around, so you'll be able to pose that just how you want. So let me just remove Harry real quick. Like, he's got his terrified face there, as I probably would if I was jumped onto the back of this thing. So the troll has a nice amount of articulation all throughout. So like I say, he's got a head that can move back and forth, and then the side to side here, you can just rotate it because it's just attached with one of these Exoforce hand pieces in there, so that's kind of cool. He has movable arms that can go up and down, and then the elbows as well, and then the whole arm can swing back and forth, so he can really raise his club up really high and get a good kind of swinging pose onto that. So that's pretty cool, I think. And then exact same build for the other arm, so it can do all the same things. And then down here, the legs are attached to a single bar that keeps them both together. So what I like about that is when you set it where you have the angle where you like it, you can just rotate the hips forward and you don't have to reset the other leg every time. But having said that, they are both independent technically. They just have a lot of friction. So you can actually move the legs independently as well. So he can swivel from the hips and the knees and the ankles, and so you can get a really nice, solid walking pose and get him like charging towards Hermione and getting ready to smash her with his club. So that's really cool. As far as the actual articulation goes, that's as far as that this is as far as he can do. But I think for a figure of this size, I don't really know what else you could hope to get out of this. So I think that works out pretty good. And then as far as details and authenticity and accuracy, I tried to be as accurate as humanly possible. I've got his like big round belly here hanging over this loincloth thing that he wears. I tried to make sure that you get good coverage on the loincloth. Sometimes it looks kind of silly if you get, like, for example, Grolp here in his official form. You don't get any of that continuation around there, so it just looks like he's wearing something in front of his body, which I think is a little bit awkward. So I tried to make sure that this continued right the way through, and I think that worked out decently well. Obviously with the vest, I wasn't able to get it to go around the back here, to cover this up completely, but I really wanted to get this rounded shape in here for his kind of humpback look that he has with the gray slopes there. So I think that works out decently well, and you can just kind of forgive the lack of back vest there. His club I think is pretty accurate looking. It's got like that one knot coming out of it, like he just ripped a tree branch out of a tree out of the ground basically, and that's his club. So it's got a little bit of an organic feel to it with the fez piece on the end there, kind of giving it that nice club shape. So I like that. He has these very lumpy, gross legs in the actual thing. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like there's something wrong with him. Like he's got very weird shape, kind of these, I don't know what you'd call these, but this texture to his skin is very like lumpy and gross looking. So I tried to replicate that as much as possible with these rounded tiles up here in the front and putting the studs all around the legs to kind of beef them up. And then using roller skate pieces to represent those two big toes that he has sticking out, because trolls only have 2 toes on their feet, and yeah, you get a sense of that there. So I think that works out pretty well. It really does balance really, really well. You can really lean it forward. You can really, bring the club all the way back. Yeah, back into this kind of like, oops, there you go. You can bring that all the way back or all the way up on top, and it will hold its pose. So, I'm really, really happy with how all that worked out. And depending, of course, on, I actually had a one Exoforce hand piece that was worn out on me, so I had to switch that out because the arm just kept flopping down. But if you have one that has a decent amount of tension to it, you can really get some dynamic poses with this. And because the feet can stud into a regular studded surface with no issue, you can have him even on one leg, if you put him on a studded base, doing some kind of crazy thing, like maybe he's falling over after he's been hit in the head, or who knows what. So there's really all kinds of possibilities of ways that you can pose this in your scene. So yeah, I think this worked out great, and I think I will definitely be using this in my Hogwarts layout once I get the bathroom scene figured out later on down the line. That's going to be the design that I use, and I'm really, really happy with it. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and get that now, you're welcome to, and put it into your own scenes and have fun setting up that iconic scene. So the troll in the bathroom. So yeah, then the other thing I wanted to touch on is the style of my builds is a little bit more realistic in terms of trying to replicate the movie props than this idea of like replicating a giant minifig. Like this is supposed to be a scaled up minifigure, and he's got the blocky feet and everything. He even has like the indication for the holes of where the minifig legs would plug in, and I think that's cool. But I think eventually I'm going to be redoing this as a more realistic style to kind of match with this, because I do think that the kind of novelty of having a scaled up minifigure is fun, but I think for in terms of what you would want to have in your scenes for a kind of realistic depiction of Hogwarts, a UCS Hogwarts as is kind of what I'm aiming for, I think this style feels a little bit more appropriate to me. So yeah, so that's what I'll be doing going forward, and once I get to Aragog and all the various different dragons that we have and all those other things, I'll be kind of sticking to that more realistic look. So hopefully you guys are a fan of that, and if you are, like I said, go ahead and build one for yourself and tag me on social media. Let me know if you're enjoying it. Let me see your scenes that you set up. I love seeing stuff like that. So yeah, so that's about it, you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoy your troll if you do end up getting one. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, you guys.